This is the Imperial Dropship versus the Rebel Scout Speeder, set 40755. Comes with 6 minifigures, 3 basic stormtroopers, and 3 rebel troopers, each with a different face print. It also comes with an exclusive minifigure known as QTKT. It is an exclusive minifigure because it is the 25th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars, but we'll get to that later. Starting off with the pros, we're going to take a look at the Imperial Dropship. We'll get to the Rebel Speeder later. But it comes with 3 Stormtroopers who are actually brand new. This is the old Stormtrooper, and this is the new Stormtrooper. And if you look at them, they have a lot of differences, mainly between the torso and the legs. The newer legs have a white hip piece, and the other ones have a black hip piece, so that's new. The torsos are also a bit different. I'll take off the helmets of both so you can clearly see them. This torso has a bit more shading underneath the chest plate to just give that effect that the chest plate is coming off the armor a little bit to give it some depth. And this one has some weird lines to give it that effect, which don't really work that well. You can also see the straps on their armor is a lot more well defined than on this one here. So a lot of well-needed updates and very good updates as well. There's also some updates to the bottom parts of the legs. You can see that this one has sort of a more gaping hole than the other one. I'm not really sure how to describe the differences, but you can clearly see them. They've moved that little strap on their leg up a bit to make it, I guess, more accurate. And then as far as I can tell, the helmet has remained the same throughout both Stormtroopers. I think the new Stormtrooper looks great, and I hope it lives on for a long time. Moving on to the build, this is the Imperial Dropship. On the box, it looks very scrappy and just very messy, but I was very surprised when I finished building this. It looks futuristic. It looks a little weirdly shaped too, but it is Star Wars, so I guess it kind of passes. Also, it's Lego as well, so it's kind of hard to make certain curves with building blocks, but on the back you can sit some stormtroopers because, you know, this is a dropship. And then these thrusters can move up and down depending on if it's flying or if it's in the landing position. You can, of course, lift up the cockpit to sit a minifigure inside just like that. I'm not going to properly secure it, but it has a little control panel in there for him to, I guess, fly the ship. And again, I didn't put him in right, so the cockpit's not going to close, but you get the idea. And there's also some stud shooters on each side of the ship. Moving on to the Rebel side of things, we get 3 new Rebel troopers. They, of course, have their silver blaster to differentiate them from the Stormtroopers. They all have the same torso, legs, and helmet, just different skin tones and face prints. I'm also kind of surprised that they have double-sided heads. I didn't think it really works with this goofy-looking helmet, but this one has a sort of tranquil face and then an angry going into battle face. This one has another angry going into battle face, and then a more tranquil face on the back. I'm not very good in using one hand, I know. And then this one has a tranquil face, and my favorite part, the back, he is very terrified. I think it's great that we have different skin tones and facial expressions for the Rebel Troopers, just so that we don't have a bunch of the same minifigure in this set. It just provides some differentiation and provide some great storytelling. Moving on to the Rebel build, we have this Rebel Scout Speeder. I think this thing is in Battlefront 2, but other than that, I don't think we've seen it in any Star Wars movie. Maybe Rogue One, again, I'm not exactly sure, but it's a very cool build nonetheless. It has a cockpit where you can seat 2 people, as well as a gunner seat on top so you can shoot the cannon. The crimson and gray color scheme is very nice on this build. The thrusters on the back are also well built. And overall, this build is very sleek, very smooth, not many studs showing surfaces, so, you know, it's great to play with. I would also like to point out that this is a remix of an old Star Wars set which came out a couple years ago. Looks something like this, and this was sort of the new and improved version of it, so that is really great to have. I also just realized that the Imperial Dropship is also a new version of something we've had in the past. You know, they just updated it with some better building styles and mechanics just to give it a better look than before. Finally, we have the exclusive minifigure to the set, QTKT. Now, after doing some research, I found out this minifigure comes from the Clone Wars, and it comes from the infamous droid arc, which is my personal least favorite arc in the Clone Wars. It is terrible. It's 4 episodes of these droids wandering through a desert or something. I don't really care for it. It's very boring, but it's cool that we get it, I guess. I mean, kind of a random character. I would have much preferred Darth Malgus or something like that. Kind of cool to have, but also kind of random. When we remove the minifigure, if it is a minifigure, but I'm going to count it as one. Anyway, removing the minifigure, we get this cool custom plaque piece that is not a sticker, by the way. It's printed on there. We get to see R2-D2 projecting a 1x1 Lego piece, and 25 years of Lego Star Wars. That means Lego Star Wars has been a thing for 25 years now. That's crazy to think about. The box also has the 25 years of Lego Star Wars on it instead of the, I don't know if it's black or white kind of greebling on the box. It is now blue to celebrate the anniversary of Lego Star Wars. So that's pretty special. The major con I have is not really with this set, but it's with another set that released just a few weeks before this one. The set in question is the Boarding the Tainted 4 set, which released a few weeks before this one, and is very similar in that it has 2 of the same stormtroopers that we get in this set, as well as 2 of the same rebel troopers that we get in this set. That's kind of weird. The differences are very clear in these 2 sets. You know, this one has the rebel speeder and the dropship, and the other one has a hallway scene, but it's very, very rare that we see 2 sets released practically alongside each other have the same minifigures. Lego never does something like that. But I think the way this is justified is because of the exclusive minifigures. Think about it. Some people will buy the entire set just to get the exclusive minifigure. Like, for example, Fives comes in the Tantive 4 set. I think it's Fives anyway. He's a really important character in Clone Wars and played a big role in Star Wars. People are going to want him because he's, cool. And the only way to get him is to buy the entire set for $55. That's a genius marketing scheme from Lego, and that is why they release these sets back to back. Okay, so after that spew, I only have one more con with the set, and that's the exclusive minifigure. I don't think this was the best choice on Lego's part for this figure. I feel like they could have gone with something a bit more recognizable because, most people don't know who QTKT is. Even I had to go look it up because I didn't know. She just had a very small role in Star Wars, and, they probably could have gone with something a bit more familiar like Grand Moff Tarkin, for example. So, not a great choice, but that's really it. In conclusion, I think this is a really cool set. I love the building techniques used on the shuttle and the speeder. I think they did a great job. There are lots of new pieces on the speeder that I didn't really mention, such as this ladder piece. It's an entire piece. It's not individual slots put in there. It's one big piece. And I think that was a really cool addition. Lots of cool details like that throughout the set. And yeah, I think this is a great set to add to your collection. It's one of those things you can buy multiple times to build up your Stormtrooper army or your Rebel army. I myself have been needing some Rebels for quite some time now. I don't have many of these characters, so it's a great set for that. Also, really love the Stormtrooper design. I really hope this is the final adjustment they have made because this is peak Stormtrooper right now. I really love the design on this, and I hope it doesn't change for at least 10 years. They might need to tweak it at some point, but I think it's perfect how it is now. And overall, this set is great. $40, great price mark, and I think that's it. So thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time.